All right, here with the segment two, the last part of the Bohr model goes along with week three, talking about the different models that we find and how the electrons fit in the whole atom scheme. The last video segment, we talked about how the rows, as you go around, which are called periods, end up showing us how many rings to put on the Bohr model. Now we got to look at how many electrons to put in, and those are based off of the vertical columns, which are called groups. The group then tells us the number of valence electrons it has, electrons that are in its outermost energy level. So when you end up looking at that, if we look at vertical column one, called the alkali metals, those end up having one valence electron, and we'll show you one outer level electron, where two would have two, and vice versa as you go. We are going to kind of skip that middle section where the transition metals, and learn about more of that in high school when you go to chemistry class. But as far as the Bohr model goes, Bohr model works very good for the smaller atoms up through about 2021. After that, we have to start looking at electron configurations and different quantum mechanical models to really represent what the atom's doing. So if we want to look at a Bohr model, how to draw one, which you'll have to do in your assignments for this week. Remember, hydrogen, the number of electrons is still the same way that we found it. We're going to make it equal to the atomic number right now. So hydrogen has one proton, it must have one electron, and has one ring because it's in the first row, and in that outer level row, because it's in the first column, only has one electron. If we look at lithium, it's in row 2, so it's going to have two rings. Okay? Has 3 total electrons. We're going to fill 2 in the first, 1 in the second. And again, if we look at it, it's in column 1, the first column, vertical column, so it's only going to have 1 electron in its outer shell. And if we look at sodium again, it's in row 3, as we showed in the last slides, that it has 3 rings as you go out from the center. And the last ring has to have only 1 in it. Still has to have a total of 11. So if you look at 2, second ring has 8. The third ring now then only has 1 to make a total of 11. That gives us the Bohr model, which is a good representation of what the model, it's a visual representation at least of what we can see with the atom. Next video segment we go on to, we'll end up talking about electron configurations and how those end up probably giving us a more complete picture of what the atom is doing. So don't forget the full version of the Bohr model PowerPoint, and the videos are still on the full slide.